Hey everyone, J7Jace here, bringing you a Final Fantasy Tactics all Lucavi tier list. I'll be ranking them based on a scale of S to D on a variety of factors, from their design, combat difficulty, integration into the story, and other random things. So with all that being said, let's get started. First off, I'm beginning with the Apanda or Reavers. Now, some people may not consider them part of the Lucavi, but I do since they appear in the Celia and Letty fight outside of Limberry Castle, as well as the last floor of Deep Dungeon or Midlight's Deep. While they are just minor grunts, they are quite deadly. They got pretty high HP, ignore height built in, quick charge. They can cast a variety of bio spells that can inflict many nasty negative status ailments, and they can also hit pretty hard. These enemies also scale with your party's highest level character. To me, their design or look is just okay. There's no real story integration, but because you have to know how they work, such as having lower faith, immunity to negative status ailments, and also they're vulnerable to fire, you can't really just grind to kill them fast, so I gotta put these enemies in B personally. They are pretty deadly and well designed to me. Now for Elidibus, the optional super boss of Final Fantasy Tactics. While I love the way this guy looks in base form, the whole wizard, and his Serpentarius form, even though I'm not a big fan of snakes myself, I wish he was more difficult. Like, while he has some very strong summons like Zodiark, and his Poisonous Frog can be very deadly for first timers, to me he's just way too slow speed stat wise, and I wish he had more dialogue or a proper introduction instead of just appearing out of nowhere. Like, while learning Zodiark for multiple party members can be a challenge, I wish he was like Emerald or Ruby Weapon difficulty and easier to get to, as you need to go through, all the floors of Midlight's Deep. So for all these reasons, I gotta put him in D tier, sadly. Now, jumping back into the story, we have the very boss that introduces us to the Zodiac Stones. Now, some people think that the Cardinal is hard or easy for the first time. It's like any Final Fantasy Tactics player will say. I thought the build-up was cool, and despite his size, he is fast, he hits hard, and the negative status ailments, which can be caused by his various spells, can be very deadly. Like, if he only looked cooler, but for all these reasons, like an A tier or even A+, I thought he was a great intro and welcome to what we will face later down the line. Now, moving on, for arguably the most infamous game over soft locking restarting mofo, Velius, aka Wheatgraph. Now we get like this one. It's a nice build up too with the scene outside of Orban. When you see Wheatgraph injured. Like, quite a few Final Fantasy Tactics fans have some PTSD or like a negative memory of this guy for good reasons. The boss, he can do a lot of damage, especially with the summons like Clops or Cyclops, Lich or Rich. He can use some insane negative status ailments too, like Petrify and Befuddle. And while I'm not a huge fan of most of these demon designs personally, he got those Scott Steiner big bad booty daddy arms. So because of the build up, difficulty, and how strong he is in the actual lore and gameplay wise, he deserves an S tier. At this point, we know how to fight him and take advantage of his slightly lower speed. He still deserves a GOAT spot in the history of FFT. Now, for the minions that join him, the Archaic Demons, to me, they are deceptively strong with Karma, Unholy Darkness, and in my opinion, their deadliest ability, Giga Flare. They have solid HP, they do good numbers. No real noteworthy ones, unless you count the one at Golan, in the last floor. But with all that being said, overall B, a solid grunt that can do a lot of damage. The Ultima Demons, they're brothers. Sometimes I feel like they're deadly when they don't cast Ultima. I do like how they look a bit better because of the blue, it's my favorite color. But I gotta still put them at B, along with the Archaic Demons. They're deceptively strong with Twister, Nano Flare, and Almagust as well. Now, for the not so pretty That Seraph, Zalera. I mean, it flies, and the spells like Nightmare and Bind can be annoying. Honestly, it can be pretty challenged, especially with no Orlando or going in not really prepared. I just wish Zalera had more HP or scaled better because he doesn't have that much more than Belias at all to me. So I'm going to say C. I expected more with the HP and something to look more angelic or epic as Elmdor, as he was based off of or inspired by Sephiroth clearly. Now I'm not dissing Akihiko Yoshida, he is still my favorite artist ever from Square, and it's very hard to be creative in drawing like all your creative works so much, so let's keep this, pretty simple in the comments. I think it's very hard to do what he does on a consistent and goated level. For a Dramalik, this one pains me to rank because I love Capricorns and I myself am one. And while he looks cool, he can inflict negative status ailments and do some damage. He's just way too slow. And he has only one enemy when you fight him at Egros Castle. And despite the looks and being the best Zodiac sign, I gotta give him D. He also kind of just comes and goes too quickly with Dysarg receiving the stone. To me, the build-up wasn't very strong. Now, Hashmal, to me, another letdown or hype fail. At Rio Veins, we hear of how strong he was as he kills so many of the knights and others in the castle. He is full Marv's demon form with Leo, a big bad wolf, or lion-looking thing. He has built-in swiftness, if I'm not mistaken, and his bind or stop can be annoying. He also has one of Zalbag's Speed Ruin or Speed Sap, whatever name you prefer. And while he has cool looking magic spells, and I do like his design, another Scott Steiner, or he reminds me of it, I gotta put him in D tier. I just was expecting more with him, and he just kills himself, and it's gone faster than a slice of pepperoni pizza in my face. Finally, Ultima. She is gorgeous, so S. Well, her first form, just purely based on looks, S, yes. But we gotta look at everything here. The second form, when the plastic surgery and makeup come off, not so good looking. While she has a stronger version of the Ultima spell, she has teleport too and whatnot, I just thought there wasn't enough deadly abilities and she was far too slow. But because I'll be nice and factor in looks more heavily on this one, B tier. So everyone, this was my Lucavi tier list in Final Fantasy Tactics. I thought this would be a fun one to do before the Ivalice Chronicles, so I can't wait to see the changes. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you made it this far, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments which of the Lucavi you like best. Take care, and all the best to you.